Brightest blessings, everyone. Psychic medium Elizabeth Grove, the Paranormal Priestess. Welcome to the Paranormal Priestess YouTube channel. And if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. My name is Elizabeth. I'm a divine channeler, medium, spirit extractor, white witch, and divine alchemist. And I also happen to be a divine twin flame on the path to reunion. Come out, wherever you are. This video is going to be very special for those of you who are very different, for those of you who are advanced souls, for those of you who are light workers, for those of you who are twin flames, and you're wondering, my gosh, what am I meant for in the world? We're going to be talking about that, and hopefully this video will help to motivate you, inspire you, get you to think, get you to reflect, help you to meditate on what you are truly here for. These are the times, I have to say, there's no ignoring the fact that we are in some really hard times on planet Earth right now, in the middle of a pandemic, Black Lives Matter movement. We are having so many issues that are coming up to the surface, so many injustices, so much hatred. There's been so much violence going on the planet right now. And, pretty much the world is in shambles, but it's not the end-all, be-all of that. So, because so many of us are here as light workers, as those who are meant for very specific reasons. And we're going to talk about this because you are really being called. Absolutely. Depending on when you're watching this video, we just had a lunar eclipse in Capricorn, full moon lunar eclipse. Capricorn is Earth. And it truly is about what type of physical life, what type of energy you're putting out there in a physical way, your practical life, your career, your purpose, even things like health. But we're going to be focusing more so on owning yourself in the world, putting yourself out there, and making sure that you are in your authentic light, your authentic soul, and unafraid and unapologetic with putting it out there. So we're going to talk about some things today. I don't want to forget anything. I have some of my notes here, but I just really want this video to inspire some people who have maybe been procrastinating. Now, I'm a reader, personal reader for all of the worlds. I'm also a very unique clearer. For my readings, I have been having a lot of people who are procrastinating about mission, life purpose, or they're still within a job that perhaps is giving them security, and they're really afraid of jumping out of that because that job is not fulfilling them. It's draining their life energy, it's draining their soul. They're not liking the work, but it's sustaining them. But they're being pulled to make a change, to make a major transition. And we have major transitioning come up. We really, really are. There are major changes that are coming up for people. And we're going to talk about that. So, the first thing we want to talk about is service. We want to talk about service, but we want to talk about it in a way where we're talking about service to the self first, because in order for us to really serve other people, we have to be able to serve ourselves. We have to be able to, tune in and see what's going on there and how maybe we have blocked ourselves or caused ourselves some sort of self-sabotage with our beliefs, our perceptions. And so the first thing I would say to anyone who is really confused about what they're meant to do in the world is to really just take the time out to tune in. And it doesn't have to be really difficult. You don't have to do any types of guided meditations unless you're drawn to do so. It's really about just kind of taking yourself aside, closing your eyes, tuning in, listening to what's happening there, tuning into what's happening there, and simply asking the universe, source, your angels and guides. Archangel Michael is a great one for purpose, and he oftentimes in my reading sessions comes out personally to help people to understand what their life purpose is, to re-clarify it and really reconfirm it. Because the thing is that your soul already knows what you're here to do. Your higher self is already intelligent and has all of that information already prepared So that's just what's so amazing, is that that's a truth. So you can even ask your higher self, really just tuning in and ask, what am I here for? What is my true purpose? Clear your mind, clear out any voices, say from your parents or your family, for your friends, about what you should do with your life and what's best for you, and just tune into what your heart is really, really saying. Okay? There's so much truth in what we're passionate about, things that we've been passionate about. Okay, and that's the thing. When it comes down to what am I really meant to do in the world, it comes down to things that you really love, things that really bring you joy. Okay, so when the ego starts getting involved there, then the ego tries to say, okay, you know what, you're never going to make any money from that. Everyone's not going to accept you for doing that. You're going to hear from mom and dad or aunts and uncles or friends about that. And so I probably shouldn't do that, and I should probably do what's more widely accepted, right? So that tends to be there. We'll talk a little bit more about, how we, we're afraid to come out of those constraints, right, of society and ancestors. But think to yourself, tune in. What is it that I really love to do? Or what have I always loved to do, but I put that down? Remember, what you put down comes back around. It really, really does. If it's really a part of your soul, if it's really in alignment with you, in alignment with your path, that will come back. And it will be there for you to rediscover, to go deeper with. And that will be your purpose, what you're here to share. Now, many people, and I did a video that I think really goes well with this one, and it's a little bit of an older one, but it was Old Souls for a New Earth, about being different. But I do want to touch a little bit on that, okay, because we have younger people. Also, and I know many of you who watch my videos, you can relate to this, that you've never fit in when you were younger. You never fit in with the world. Its conventionality. You never fit in, say, with the school kids. You never felt like you were on the same level as your family, as people out there. Deep thinkers, right? You're deep thinkers, you're deep feelers. You have a lot of imagination. You just see things in different ways. You feel things on other levels. You're very sensitive souls. And so many have heard the term indigo soul, right? Or indigo star seed, a star seed. And I have a lot of clients and a lot of subscribers who are star seeds, who really resonate with coming from places like Pleiades or Sirius, okay, even Arctis. You resonate with your soul originating from a different place. Being extraterrestrial. And that's very true. We have souls that their Earth is not, the original home. So we have a lot of souls here, and we still do, that feel just like fish out of water. And a lot of those people tend to get into anxieties, into depressions very, very easily, because they just can't seem to find their footing. They can't seem to find that it's okay to be who they are, and that it's safe. I think the word is safe, to be unique. It's safe to be different, because there's so many pressures in this world to be like everybody else. Okay, and I really do think that social media tends to be a very big problem. I really, really do. I mean, there's like anything else, there's good and bad, pros and cons with things. But I have to say that, social media can be very damaging, especially to mental health and emotional health, even when you think about things like Instagram, because people get caught up in comparing themselves to other people's lives. People don't want to feel like they're left out. They don't want to feel like they don't belong. It's very lonely. It's very isolating. It's very, very hard on the mental state. And so they get caught up in a lot of that. Let me compare myself to somebody else. Let me look like them. I want to, be just like them. I want a life just like them. And we lose ourselves in trying on these false identities, trying to, fit into these false identities and these 3D constructs, these limiting constructs that aren't really who we are, right? And as advanced souls, we're here to really shed our skin and get through all of these layers of healing, all of these layers of who we are not, and all of these ego limitations, all these limited ideas, limited perceptions, all this conditioning that is put upon us. It's been put upon us from ancestors and ancestral line limitations. And then we have the 3D constructs of society, the limitations that, society says this is just how you have to be, and society says this is what you need, and then we have, just so many different levels and areas of manipulation that people are now starting to wake up and realize, it's very much like the Matrix movie, that there's just been so much corrupted control on the planet. There's been so much of feeding our minds with ideas and perceptions and just being implanted with things. And, people are just completely fed up with it, and they're awakening. They're awakening to their heart spaces, and they're saying no more. People are truly waking up to who they're meant to be. And so there's a great deal of that has to do with saying no to certain things and saying, hey, you know what? This does not serve me. Maybe spending so much time on social media does not serve my happiness or my fulfillment. Perhaps watching the news does not fulfill me, or fulfill me anyway, and it's actually harming me to do so. Maybe I shouldn't buy into these ideas. Maybe I shouldn't buy into fake news. Maybe I shouldn't buy into these fears any longer. And let me tune in and see what the truth is, the truth that I'm getting, that I'm resonating with, rather than what's being projected onto me, what's being conditioned. And that same thing goes for social media. There's a lot of different ways of manipulating the brain, manipulating people, and constantly getting them to engage in the system, you know what I mean, in the matrix. And it becomes addictive, and it really is damaging on so many levels, right? So, we have to be able to recognize this and say, hey, you know what? What can I do to separate the illusion from the truth? What can I do to step into my own truth, who I really am? So for all of you souls who are just feeling very different, or have always felt different, and that's been a struggle for you, I totally understand that. I resonate with that. I relate to you. I get that. But you know what? You are being called now to be brave enough to really explore who you are, but also explore who you're not. Explore who you're not, because the only way that we're going to get to the truth, the core of our being, is to really just take a look at all of those different beliefs, conditioning, perceptions, false identities, and all those things that aren't us. We have to be able to see that first. We have to become consciously aware of that first, and then we can let it go and release it and say, hey, no more. For some people, it's about, hey, I'm just not going to allow fake people into my life anymore. I'm not going to allow people who are not really my friends, pretend to be my friends, but they're behind my back, they're really envious or jealous, or they're doing things, that are not supportive in any way. They're trying to control me, manipulate me, would be abusive, whatever it is. I'm not going to allow for fake relationships. I'm not going to allow myself to be used. I'm not going to allow myself to be manipulated. I'm not going to allow myself to be with people, surround myself with that type of energy anymore. So there's so much about tuning into who you are, so that way you understand your energy, you understand that you're different, you understand that you're here for different reasons, and to not sacrifice that, to not sacrifice your needs, not sacrifice your Your uniqueness is what makes you you, obviously, and it's here for a particular reason, because the world needs somebody like you. The world really truthfully needs someone like you. They don't need you trying to be somebody else. They need you. And the fact that you're different means that you are here. You've chosen, your soul has chosen to be here to be a leader of change. Yes, and maybe some of you are thinking to yourself, hey, I don't know. I've never seen myself as a leader. I never felt really that powerful. I've always had my power suppressed. I've had, a difficult childhood, or I've been suppressed by family. I've been suppressed by relationships. I always felt like there was something wrong with me, or I just wasn't worthy of enough or deserving enough. Well, those are all those things to tune into. When you're meditating, when you are with yourself, those are the things to tune into and say, hey, I'm not going to allow that to block me any longer. I'm not going to allow myself to carry that type of emotional baggage any longer, or resentment towards family, or resentment towards others. Those angers, those sadnesses, all of those things are very damaging on a lot of levels, especially for sensitive souls. And what happens is, for sensitive souls, especially those who are young, who are elementary school years, or high school years, unfortunately, I know that things are now on the brink of change, but they tend to think, hey, you have a mental disorder, or you have ADD, or you're bipolar, or let's just throw this person to a psychologist. Let's throw this person on drugs to try to control them, and that's it. And let's just slap a Band-Aid on it and just call it a day. And this person's still struggling. They're still struggling with their emotions. They're still struggling with feeling alone. They're still struggling with not feeling like they're supported. They're still feeling powerless. Okay, and so we have so many very special souls here, advanced souls. We have the indigos, we have rainbow children, crystal children, twin flames, and now it's time for us to really be able to shed everything that does not serve us and step into our power, so that way we can be of service to others. But again, we have to be of service to ourselves and be able to get real, and be able to, if it is that you are meant to reach out for help, it's about reaching out to the right people who are really going to resonate with you and understand you at energetic levels. Understand that you're a sensitive soul. Understand that you have gifts. Okay, now we have lots of advanced souls who have gifts. You have intuitive gifts. You have creative gifts. Now, there's going to be some people that are out there that might be therapists or psychologists or even medical doctors, whatever, and they're not going to understand that you are a sensitive soul, you have a sensitive body, and they're just not going to be the right fit. So, sensitive souls tend to get shut down in many different ways, where they're not feeling powerful enough, they're not owning themselves, so that way they can step out. They're being suppressed, and it's a really, really sad thing. It's a really, really sad thing, especially, for younger kids out there who are falling into depressions and having anxiety and panic attacks, and they're not understanding why, the other kids are not relating to them like they're relating to everyone else, and they're not understanding why it's been so hard in relationships, and that things have been so dysfunctional, in their lives. So, it's all about, again, being able to serve yourself, being able to tune in, also to be able to get people who really do understand you and get you, and can really assist you along your journey. I think that's really important. Or to be able to reach out and to touch bases with those who do really get you, and have that be a safe environment, whether in social media or otherwise. But social, so I say social media can have its damage, but social media can also be good in some ways too, to be able to connect with others. It all depends on how you use things. It really, really does. But anyway, this all comes together here. Everything that I'm talking about, as far as owning yourself in the world, which is what we're being guided to do, spirit, universe, we're being guided to strongly align with ourselves, our truth. We're being strongly guided to be unafraid to come out and to no longer give a damn. And I don't mean that in an angry way at all, but to not give a damn what anyone else is going to think. And the only way we can get to that place and feel empowered, and feel like, hey, I have this new spark of creativity coming up, and now I'm unafraid to move forward and to showcase my light. The only way we're going to be able to do that is if we can get past all of those things that have disempowered us. We have to be able to, again, shed away those layers, shed our skin, and allow ourselves to be free to be ourselves. Okay? Find your true gifts, your true calling. Whether you have intuitive gifts and you're able to speak to spirits, whether you are able to really write, and you've always been a creative writer, poetry, stories, whether you have just a really beautiful, keen eye for art, and you're able to paint, you're able to draw, you're able to do photography, you have a special message, you have special messages that you want to share with the world. Now's the time that we really need you to really think about those things and to really know just how crucial it is to have people like you in the world. And hopefully you can think to yourself, well, I had a really rough time throughout my life, and it wasn't always easy, and a lot of it was spent alone or very confused, or I felt just never confident in myself. But you can see along the way like how it all has come together and it's been worth it, how you've learned so much. You're transformers. You're here to transform on an individual level, and you're also here to help the planet transform. There are reasons. So even though it might feel rough for some of you right now who feel like you're lost, you're stuck, you're at a crossroads, consider it a turning point, because so many of you are at this very important turning point right now where you're just about to turn and say, hey, this is what I want. I no longer want this type of lifestyle. I don't want to be with these types of people, whether friendships or relationships, because they don't serve me anymore. I don't want to have my soul drained in a career and a job, because I'm spending so much time just giving my energy away and just feeling tired and feeling very angry or filled with grief or just lower vibe. You make those choices. You make those choices. And you know what? Your family and their opinions and the upbringing, okay, we're not saying that family is not important. I am not saying that in any way. There's no disrespect to family. I am not referring to that. But to have you understand that as advanced souls, we are here to go past ancestral limitation. We are here to heal the ancestral lines and to no longer carry their fears, their confinements, the limited way in which they've seen the world. Okay, you are not limited unless your mind says that you are. The mind is a very powerful tool, and your thoughts create emotions. It creates a vibration, a resonance, and you are what you attract. I cannot stress that enough. I talk about that on YouTube. I talk about that with my clients. You are what you attract. And that in itself is just a really amazing power that you have as a soul on this planet now. Because we're awakening to that, to the reality of that we are not limited from source. So for some people, when they do find the things that they love to do, it's where do I start? How do I take the steps? One foot in front of the other. It really is. Don't overwhelm yourself. You know, it might be something where you're practicing some energy work on yourself or on family members. Perhaps you're just getting started writing some poetry or painting or taking some pictures for yourself, or you're sharing it with a couple people. You start sharing it on Instagram, or you start sharing a blog, right? For a lot of you who are writers that are meant to publish, maybe just get a head start by just saying, hey, I'm really drawn to write this blog because it's what I believe. It's going to help people out there. And it's just a way, it's just a step of having my voice be heard. For others, it might be, hey, I feel like I'm drawn to start a channel. For a lot of my clients, they're meant to start or have started YouTube channels where the more the merrier. You're here to share your gifts. You're here to share your unique soul, and people are going to resonate with you, right? Whether it's sharing a meditation, whether it's sharing spiritual tools, whether it's sharing daily forecasts, whether you're sharing astrology, whether you're sharing messages from the angels or reading tarot, whatever it is that speaks to your heart and soul, if you can feel excited and passionate about it, then you're meant to do it. That's what you're meant to do. Despite what anyone thinks, what anyone says, or anyone puts it down, you know what? Now's the time to just put those blinders on and really say, hey, you know what? This is my life. This is my life. This is who I am. These are the things that represent my soul. This is my soul expression. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this because I know that this is going to help at least one person, if not more, out there. Remember, it's not about the number, too, for those of you who are hesitant about mission, getting started. Don't worry about the number of subscribers. I never did. I still don't. I never will. Do not worry about who reads the blog or if someone criticizes you or says something mean. It's not a fun thing to get that criticism or those negative comments, but you know what? It's up to you on how you handle it. If you allow that criticism or those negative comments to stop your passion and stop your voice from being heard, it's not worth it. There's so many more people that can benefit from your light and benefit from your knowledge, your talents, your gifts. So don't allow that one person or those few people to knock you off of your path, off of your journey. Okay, you will get tested in that way. If you need to delete those people off, just delete them right on off. And trust me, you don't want to go back to, hey, maybe I'm doing things wrong. Maybe I suck. Maybe this is not the purpose for me. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. And then just, have the whole thing fold in. It's, you know what I mean? It's time to be strong. The angels, Archangel Michael, wants these missions out there because it's going to benefit so many people, and it's going to truly benefit you. You being in your highest soul light, by doing what it is that's authentic to your soul, is going to put you in a high vibrational place. And we all know, and I've talked about it so many times, that when you are in a high vibrational place, that's when the best things in life are drawn to you. That's when the best people are drawn to you. You're going to put out a vibration that's higher, and of course energy never lies. You will receive. And there's also, remember, the cause and effect. Putting that energy out there, you're putting out great energy. It's going to affect you with great energy. The universe is a huge boomerang, or a mirror, if you will. And we have the cause and effect, and then we have the giving and receiving. The balance of giving and receiving. If you have it within your heart to truly give, and that's the importance, and it's not about the money. You're not focused on worrying about the money or the money itself. If you're focusing on the service, doing what it is that you love, and the feeling itself of loving what you do, and the feeling of being free, the freedom that it gives you to live a comfortable life, where you can do the things that you want to do, that freedom and that feeling of freedom, that emotion or those emotions, that's what brings in the prosperity in that way. It's not about, well, as soon as we put the worry about how am I going to sustain myself if I'm doing this new purpose, if I'm opening up my own spiritual business, if I'm taking that leap because I'm called to do so, what happens if I fall flat on my face and I can't afford my apartment, I can't afford my house, I can't afford to feed my children? What if? You know, everyone's scenario is going to be different. You may not be led to just, you know, quit your job and just go from one thing to another. For some of you, it may be that. And so it's going to challenge your ego and challenge you to be able to trust your soul, trust the divine. For others, it's going to be a transition. But now people are collectively strongly being guided to come into their higher calling. So know that if this video speaks to you, that you were meant to see it, and it's just time now to really not procrastinate any longer. I think so many people get really thrown off, and they fall into that loop of just procrastinating about it. I think a lot of the procrastination comes from, you know, it being received in a negative way by people that they know, or somehow being criticized by other people out there. If you do not give a damn and you are strong in your soul and strong in what you're putting out there, strong in what you represent, the universe has your back. The universe absolutely has your back. I have your back. Okay, so more kudos to you, because we really, really do need you. Okay, I think I pretty much covered everything here. Yeah. Your ideas, your perception, your creativity, it's going to challenge the system quo. It is, because you're meant to build something new in the world, you know, to help to cleanse the world of hate, limitation, and corruption, of course, you know, which is being purged quite strongly at this time. So whatever you need to do for you to tune in and to see what it is that you really love, and to tune into who you are, and also tune into perhaps who you thought you were, but you're really not. Now is the time to explore those things, go deeper, okay? Because you are meant to come out, okay? You are being called and meant to come out. And I'm wishing you all the brightest blessings in the world as you do that. If you need any extra assistance, if you are guided, I am here. Archangel Michael is here. You know, we do channel sessions, psychic medium sessions, all direct conversations, direct communication, no cards, all live. They are not recorded sessions, and we're here to help. You know, sometimes it's just about having that reconfirmation. It may not be things that are maybe so new to you, but it's maybe about trusting it. It might be trying to trust what it is that you are hearing, that you're feeling, and you might just want that extra validation. If so, I am here. Okay, I offer the 1 hour sessions. The 30 minutes I probably will do away with. The 1 hour is really, really what we need. So, you know, take a look at the website, theparanormalpriestess.com. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Twitter as well. I'm going to put all that information in the description below, how to get in touch with me. And I would love to be able to help you out in that way. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, from the heart of the darkness is born the light. Brightest blessings to everyone. Take care. And I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.